Hey, happy Tuesday. It's April the 8th now, and we're still in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 23 to 29, and this is how it reads, "For I received from the Lord that which I also delivered to you, that the Lord Jesus, in the night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, 'This is my body, which is for you. Do this in remembrance of me.' In the same way, he took the cup also after supper, saying, 'This cup is the new covenant in my blood. Do this as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink the cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. Therefore, whoever eats the bread or drinks the cup of the Lord in an unworthy manner shall be guilty of the body and the blood of the Lord. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of the bread and drink of the cup. For he who eats and drinks judgment to himself, if he does not judge the body rightly." So Jesus gave the word. We believe that Jesus inaugurated what we practice today as the Lord's Supper. He did that in the upper room with his disciples. He handed them bread and he handed them wine, and he said, "These are my body and blood." And there can be a great deal of confusion around the practice of the Lord's Supper, but there are a few things that are certain. There was bread and there was wine. Jesus changed the Passover ritual with this practice. Jesus was about to be tried, crucified, and resurrected. In the practice of the Lord's Supper, Jesus said, "Remember." Jesus gave the word, "Do this." We see it here in 1 Corinthians, "Do this in remembrance of me," as Paul is repeating what Jesus gave to him. God's people have faithfully celebrated the Lord's Supper. Otherwise, it's called by many names, but they've celebrated it for centuries. The great deal of theology and doctrine surrounding the practice that goes deep into the history of God's people. When we gather, we pay attention to the words of Jesus and seek to remember what Jesus accomplished on our behalf. When we think of our salvation, we remember, and we proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. We'll see you tomorrow.